Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Apocalyptic Unlimited. As it is, we had such a good time with this game here, the Reunion of Thread, that we've been able to come back and continue the story here for you. Because I know all of our players here, and I know a few of your viewers were very interested in finding out what was happening and what was going on. But before we get into that, let's just do a round of introductions, and this time I will remember to do the content warnings before we get into the game. But I am Perry Clark. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in the San Francisco Bay Area, and please forgive the sunlight that's streaming through my window at the moment. But otherwise, I'll be your GM and flight controller for this game, and I'm going to turn this over to our lovely players, starting with Chantel.
Hey, I am Chantel B. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Chantel B. Tonight I am playing Pax Weaver, and both of our pronouns are they, them.
Thank you. Shy Cat.
Hi, I am Shawnee of Showcat Cosplay. You can find me across the entirety of the internet as Showcat Cosplay, where I do cosplaying and playing in streams like this. Tonight I am Sway Weaver, an Earther medical professional.
And last but not least, Ariadne. Or
Hi,
Ron.
my name is Ran. I use she/her pronouns. I am a theater director based in the New York City area. Um, Tonight I will be playing Ariadne, born and raised in the Belt, a Jill of all trades, and a big fan of all things classic, like the rock and roll.
So maybe we'll get into some flashbacks around that. So, as this time, remembering to do my content warnings. So, the content warnings for this game, which we are setting in the Expanse universe and setting it between the series episode or seasons 1 and 2 of the Expanse television universe. Things that we'll be encountering in this is a interpersonal conflict, relational conflict as well. There is the aspect of some injuries and wounds. I really don't think we're going to be doing a spacewalk this time. There may be some medical related stuff because of just the nature of the injuries that befell some of our characters last time. So we will be reviewing that. But ideally, you probably won't be seeing much more than that, other than a lot of intense emotion and relational decisions being made as well. So family drama abounds. But to recap further, as I said, we're playing in the Expanse universe between seasons 1 and 2. Our story is set between three cousins who find themselves on a ship burning its way through the system. Three descendants of the Weaver family who each took different paths. One went to explore the science of Mars, another labored and built the belt, and a third who stayed on Earth. Three cousins who are meeting for the first time and getting to know each other. What will they find? What will they become? And are they still family? Now, when we last left our characters, they had been introduced. We introduced you in the middle of a crisis, as their ship had been hit by something, and they were now in zero G trying to figure out what was going on. They quickly made their way through and found one of their crewmates, Abraham, the ship hand and EMT, and rescued them. Upon returning to the flight deck, they found the captain injured and floating, and the pilot dead because of the explosion from the flight console that had blown up. They quickly began triaging and managed to save the captain and managed to set up some repairs on the ship, where they eventually discovered that their ship was being targeted by an old Martian defense satellite that had been adrift and out in the system. Apparently, when the ship had stopped to try and investigate, because there was another ship that was damaged, probably from a distress call, that is when their ship was fired on. Realizing it, they needed to make repairs to the ship and get themselves out of there. The critical damage was decided, especially with the injury that was provided to the captain, it was best to get the ship moving and get thrust gravity back. This required repairing the hole in the airlock so that they could go out and then do a spacewalk, which resulted in injury to Ariadne and required Sway to also suit up and follow suit with a spacewalk to repair their suit as well as finish up the repairs on the ship. In the mix of all of this, there were multiple flashbacks to each of their various lives, decisions that they've made, and moments, which helped us to get to know them more, including tense conversations with relatives and friends that were in dire situations, their meeting and realization of their family connection, and moments that help define this moment that they are sitting in aboard the ship. Once repaired, they managed to get, and using the maneuvering thrusters, slowly moved the ship out of the danger's way, turned on their thrusters, got thrust gravity back, and were heading for Palace Station. So, it had been 36 hours since you had left Lunar Station and you encountered your events with the satellite, all of which took probably no more than 3 hours before you were back on your way, heading for Palace Station. Roughly another 28 hours later, you were making your arrival. Because of the actions you had done with getting thrust gravity back on and the transfusion from Abraham, the captain did retain partial recovery. But, Sway, you did notice that there was still some shrapnel that you were not able to remove in the situation you were in, and it would be best under more stable gravity for this to happen. But with him conscious and able to give advice and also some of the bypasses to Ariadne, you were able to stabilize more of the ship and eventually get the comm systems online. As you approached Palace Station, you were able to get boarding coordinates as well as notify them about the situation with the satellite and the coordinates. So we pick up with you all exiting the Mamiwata onto Palace Station. Sway, there is a medical team that is taking them over to the facility infirmary. Do you wish to follow with them?
Be careful. I don't really want to leave you guys. I mean, I trust that they'll be able to take care of him. I want to stay with y'all.
Otherwise, Ariadne, since you right now are the de facto engineer, you can begin to make arrangements for the repair to the flight council.
Right. I think she is very much in autopilot mode. Like, ever since the collision, she hasn't really stopped moving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think internally she's thinking if she stops moving, she might collapse and just doesn't want to do anything anymore. So she's kind of like a bit like a hummingbird, which is a creature that she read from an old yellowing book.
A golden book.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Pax, Sway, let's have you make a gnosis roll.
Four on my not wild die.
Okay.
21 on my wild die.
Okay. Well, Sway, you're noticing something's up with Ariadne, but you've sort of been split between your other patient being aware of what's going on in his care as you're watching this facility staff take him away. But Pax, you've noticed this jitteriness that's in Ariadne. It kind of reminds you of what happens when some of your fellow Martians take a little too much of the focus drugs.
Ariadne?
Yeah. Sorry. I just have to focus right now.
When was the last time you slept?
I can't remember.
When was the last time you sat down?
I don't think I should. I really don't think I should sit down right now.
Maybe we need to find somewhere to just take a break. Have a rest. Have a moment. Breathe.
Breathe. Yeah.
That sounds good, Pax.
I just really enjoy breathing right about now. It's good to be breathing, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. We all need a moment. That was a lot.
You saved my life. You both saved my life earlier.
We all saved each other.
Yes.
Because
We all
for a
saved each
moment
other.
there, the air was starting to leave. And I wasn't
It
sure.
did.
Yeah, I did.
We're going to be okay. We just need to take a moment and just rest.
Right.
Yeah?
Rest and focus on one thing at a time. Right?
Yes.
And
Correct.
then we go fight our windmill. Yeah.
Is this flight controller, is this where we were intending to go? Was this the goal?
No, your goal was Titan, which is still on the other side of the belt. You're in the belt itself at one of the multiple stations that ring it. But this, based off of your orbital trajectory, was the most logical place for you to go to, especially since Eros no longer exists.
Yes.
So the number of stations that exist now in the belt are -1. And Pallas Athena station was the most closest. Now, Pallas Athena station is similar to Eros as well as Sirius, as being basically a floating satellite asteroid that was turned into a habitable facility, which does have spin gravity as it just turns slowly.
Okay. Let's go find somewhere to rest and see if we can get some repairs made rather than you needing to do all of it.
Okay. Okay.
We should notify. We have notified.
Yes.
Everyone's been notified?
So you're on your way in, once you had the comm system back turned on, you notified them about the satellite to traffic, so that it would be passed on to some more trained salvage departments to take care of that area. But you had notified them also about the damage to the ship.
Well, I mean, more so we're on a specific mission, so we should probably report the delay.
So you can check.
That is true.
So you can check to see if there is a protogen office here.
After rest, you're right, Pax.
After rest.
One thing at a time, and that one thing is resting.
Correct.
I could use a drink. Do you still drink on Earth or on Mars?
Yo, we definitely drink on Earth. It's sometimes the only thing you want to do while you're waiting for midterm results. Or when.
Glad to
a
see
patient
some things don't
graduates.
change that much.
All right.
I don't normally drink, but I think this might be an opportunity for something new. Let's do that.
All right. So you make your way up through the system into the tram system that out of the docking area into Palace Station itself, which is entirely a city underground. Neon lights greet you as soon as you leave the docking area into the main promenade area, which is made of multiple decks or multiple levels. And you're on one of the lowest, which is the initial greeting area and passport control, which you pass through easily with no difficulties as you step forward to seeing a large directory sign that has you scan essentially the code and links to your comm devices so you can see what's around. And there's a number of levels where hotels, restaurants, shops, numerous bars that are fill out all of Palace Station. The bars that you see, there is one that seems Western themed, as well as a few others that are just generally, such as McShannon's Tavern, and well as the Rocky Harbor Bar and Grill.
Have you been here before, Ariadne?
Have I been here before?
Go
Have I
ahead
been
and
to
make me
Palace
a
before?
knowledge roll.
Okay. What is my knowledge?
Or let's say
Because
history.
I want to go into the Rocky Horror Bar and Grill, but I don't.
Wait, I
Rocky
feel like
Harbor.
she would definitely know
Oh,
what Rocky
harbor.
Horror is, though.
Hmm.
Um,
It's harbor, not horror.
Harbor.
Damn.
is it just smarts?
Yeah, let's go in with smarts here.
Or okay.
So, would space alcohol be different than Earth alcohol?
What was that?
Does Mars have a special alcohol?
Well,
Does Mars have special alcohol?
well, you know that there's several vineyards that are making wine on Mars. The question is, what, do you think that they, as far as I know, they did have distilleries and such. The question is, what's your proof level?
It's a
That
9.
is the question.
What was that?
I got a 9 from the knowledge.
Nice. So you have been here on other runs when you've helped out on Mamiwata or on some of the other ships that you've occasionally been a stand-in crew for. So of the 3 bars, which one would you like to go to? Now, the Harbor
Which
and
one are
Grill
you
is a
talking
little
about?
more of a restaurant and a little more tasteful. Think of it like your average bar and grill restaurant. McShane's
Yeah.
Tavern, that one's fully a raucous tavern, maybe some dance music, and then I believe it's called Hombres, is the country and western bar.
Would you say the ombre
Any
is
suggestions?
on the quieter side, but also cheaper than maybe the bar and grill?
Well, then that probably would be the Harbor.
Okay.
Yep, because you can also get food there too.
Yeah. I think her muscle memory is like carrying her legs to walk towards the harbor, and then she kind of stops herself, turns around and say, "Which one are you two feeling? I think I've only been to harbor, but I'm down to try something new."
All of it's new to me?
It's a bit loud, but they do give a hearty pour, and the people are kind, albeit slightly raucous.
At the harbor?
Yeah,
Let's go there then.
All right.
Right.
You make your way up several levels to the Rocky Harbor, which is actually split level, where the dining area is up, the bar area is above, the dining area is below.
How do we feel about a meal? Something fresh.
I'd be down for
Belter
that.
fresh, I suppose.
Something fresh or something greasy.
Well, there's probably both on the menu.
That's true.
Let's go to the restaurant. It might be quieter there anyway.
Yeah.
Yep, there is a sort of central spiral staircase that separates the two. So there is some music that is coming floating down. It's kind of more of a adult contemporary, but more instrumental. As you sit, so you can sit closer to the stairs or further away from the stairs. The hostess leads you to. Which one would you prefer?
Whatever allows me to have a visual on the front door.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a PAX thing or a Chantel thing, but that's what I want.
All right. So anywhere they lead you to a spot that's sort of the middle of the room with a view of the front door, so you can hear just in the background the music that is coming down from the upper level. So just scan your QR codes and enter your rest in your order, and we'll be back with that as soon as possible. And that also includes drink orders as well. So have a good, pleasant night. And they
Did
step
you
away.
bring us a round of salt breath? Do you have that here still?
Sorry, what was that, miss?
Salt breath?
I believe we're still serving that. As I said, just put it into your QR code and we'll be able to deliver it from there.
Right, thanks.
And they step away as they go to help another customers who are starting to show up at the front door.
It's a drink
What?
that Althea bought it for me the first time we went on a date. It burns on the way down, but makes you feel something.
So what is the
I want to do the opposite of feel something.
what's the alcohol recipe for this?
I'm gonna say it's a very high proof, almost like moonshine kind of thing, distilled with some kind of like fermented algae or tea leaf mixed with a pinch of salt and some citrus shaving.
So you put that in, and it's a few minutes later when a server walks up with these three sort of green-colored drinks. They look kind of like they kind of look like a lemonade, but that has a greenish tint to it, and you can see the bits of the citrus floating across the top as they set those down in front of each of you, and they're garnished with a fake flower petal. We'll be back with the order as soon as it's ready.
Thank you.
It's a pretty one, Ariadne.
Yeah.
You will feel something on the way down as it burns sort of a hole in your stomach, and then after that, for a moment, maybe you feel nothing. So, something to be looking forward to.
Wow. Okay. How do you drink it? Just straight down or sip?
She's gonna lift it up and say, "We have lost much, but not all. We have lost our friends, but not each other. And even though life is mad, let us be mad enough to love it, chase the impossible, fly beyond what others think we should. We've made it through the vacuum. So now we drink and remember that we are still alive. To our homes, to blood, to family." And then she kind of paints her nose and pour it right down.
Okay, everyone, make me a vigor roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my D4 coming out.
Oh, mine is also a D4.
Oh dear.
That's a 1. Hold on. That's a 4.
A 5.
Okay, so 5 for Pax, 4 for Sway, 1 for Ariadne. Oh, 1 for
No,
Sway.
so I rolled a 1 and a 4.
Mhm.
So I rolled a 1 on my stat die. Do I reduce that
Yeah, so that would be a 3.
from? Oh,
So
3,
2 of you
yeah.
got 3. So, yeah, Ariadne hit you just like you remember last time, and it's in that particular moment too. That's when it triggers that moment of I can relax and relieve, and then that's everything that has been running for the last 28 hours slams into you.
I think she just starts to cry.
Sway, you're sure you drank something like this at one of those keggers during your studying days, and you know you've had a few something close to it, but nothing like this on some of those hard nights when you're working in the ER. But this is a new level. But you're struggling to keep it down, not wanting to throw up across the table. And Pax, you're certain that there was one of your lab mates had been doing some little brewing. This is close to it, and it was one of those stuff that you also used when there were those nights when you needed something to shift the thinking. But you're holding it down, no problem, as you think back to Mars.
Yeah.
And you watch as Ariadne just bursts into tears.
Uh,
You got this.
Patting on back. You okay?
I don't know what to do next. I can't. I just think about almost losing both of you right after finding out that we have family across the universe. I don't think I can handle the possibility of more tragedy.
We're okay.
Goddamn drink is making me sentimental.
Yep. It sounds like.
And that's
It'll-
about the point
it'll be
your
okay.
food arrives. What did you each order?
Ooh. I got a salad. I don't even know why I ordered a salad. It doesn't make sense to order a salad in the belt. It doesn't. And I don't know what's coming because I ordered a salad.
Yeah, you've got a salad there. You've had better salads, better looking salads back on Mars. You can only imagine what they're like on Earth. The lettuce is, some of the lettuce is sad looking, some of it is very bleached in color. You know that there probably should be more of it in there, but as the server puts it down, apologize if it's not as much as we usually do. After everything that happened on Ganymede, it's some of the supplies have been a little tight.
That is perfectly fine, thank you.
What about for you, Sway?
Yeah.
As you were finding,
Okay.
as attempt to settle with
Oh,
that
grilled cheese.
grilled cheese. Yep,
Exactly what I want.
yep.
Yes.
They definitely get you
The
the grilled
closest
cheese.
equivalent.
Definitely crispy. Although you notice the cheese is a very interesting consistency.
I'm not gonna think about it. I just got myself under control. I'm just not even gonna process how different the cheese seems right now.
Yeah, Velveeta did make so quite a sway into long-term stuff. And what about for Ariadne as your Pax is holding your hands as you were crying?
Her tears are dripping into her order, which is gambler stew. Gambler because you don't really know what's gonna be in it every day. Don't ask questions, just eat. It's spiced up, mixed, chock full of protein. You're not really sure how synthesized it is or if it's real.
Okay, so we were talking about gambler stew.
Well, it's Baltic cuisine. Always a gamble, always worth it. Well, not always worth it, but if you don't ask what's in it, just eat. It's the best way to enjoy.
And
One
you
time-
begin to
One time, I got real lamb.
That's wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
as you all dig into your meal. What do you guys talk about as you continue having this first stable family meal?
Question. We
Yes.
as players don't know why we are going to where we are going.
Correct. So you want to talk
Do
about? You want to
the
compare
characters?
notes?
Yeah. Do the characters know?
Let's play this out. What is the first question one of you wants to ask? And I'll fill in as we go. You
Titan.
have one piece of information, Pax, that the others don't have, or was immediately given to you to entice you that you know it has to do with genetic information.
Yes. So we're going to Titan. And something about us being related, something about our genetics is why they've called us there. But do you know anything else?
Do you think they want to conduct some sort of experiment on us? Since we have the same. We share a lot of the same genes, I reckon. Being cousins. But.
I was kind of so eager for a job, I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I kind of assumed it was something relating to. Well, I knew it was relating to being related, but I also assumed that it was something dealing with my field or with research. But I
Yeah.
didn't actually dig in about it.
I didn't ask any question either. All I know is they found my distant relatives, which my grandmother taught me that our line was the keeper of our family name, and I should find whatever I can about all of the weavers. So as soon as they told me that I'm about to meet some of them, I said sign it up, and here we are.
What are we going into?
I do feel like I may be rushed a bit. I'm so happy to have met y'all. I am. This is
Maybe,
really far from Earth.
This is far
maybe
from home for me too.
they're trying to find something that even after so many generations, something that still connects all of us, Martians, Earthers, Belters.
I wonder what for.
There have been so many conflicts between all of us. Maybe they're trying to finally figure out a way for us to live in peace again, or for the first time, really.
How would they do that using genetics, though?
Maybe I'm
Like,
too much of an optimist.
you don't like put out a press release. There wouldn't be a press release saying, "Hey, turns out we're all related." We knew that. We know that.
Maybe there's something affecting Earthers, Belters, Martians the same, and they want to, and maybe finding a linkage between all three is the best way to study like a all-purpose solution.
Is it?
I
Maybe.
mean, we did a lot of twin studies and things like that to advance the field of medicine ages ago.
That's true. How long do you think they'll need us wherever it is that, or whatever it is they're doing?
Do you think it could be about portal molecules?
Now, this will be the first that either of you have heard of this.
About what, sorry?
The proto molecules. Did you hear what
What's
happened?
that?
Did you hear what happened to Phoebe Station?
Which is in the same vicinity as Titan. It's one of the moons of Saturn.
Do you mean
Did another
the?
station go down?
They released that thing on Eros. A lot
mean,
of
they-
people died. And it's impossible to study the effect of it. Do you think... Wait, what's the name of the company that contacted us?
Protogen.
Protogen
And you did see a
Expanse.
Protogen office listed on the directory.
Maybe we should find out more about this.
I think you're right.
Flight controller, Sway would. I would not have heard that about Eros, right?
No, and there comes the question of how does Ariadne know about Eros and the protomolecule?
I imagine because of her lifestyle, kind of going from one place to the other, she has access to a lot of word of mouth, like, information.
Especially because your partner has connections with the OPA, the Outer
Yeah.
Planets Alliance.
So I think my partner definitely has been very much going on and on about that being something the Martians or the Earth is doing, targeting Belters, which she doesn't really want to believe.
Well, it's not us. I would know.
So, I think this is a beautiful moment for flashbacks.
Ooh.
Well, let's go ahead and start with you, Pax. Since you've just made that statement. You're sitting having breakfast with your father. Which Ariadne, you will be playing.
Okay.
You're reviewing, Ariadne, you're reviewing certain materials, which, because of your position in the Science Council, you're aware of a recent event that had taken place, which was the nuking of Phoebe Station in the orbit of Saturn by the MCRN, the Mars Congressional Congress military. It was shortly thereafter the events of the Canterbury's destruction and James Holden's announcement that it was Mars that was responsible for the destruction of the Canterbury that tensions rose. But it was a while later that questions were still being asked as concerns were also being brought up of a leak coming from Earth when there was a phone call from the Earth ambassador having news that Earth and the UN believed the story that Mars destroyed the Canterbury in relation to Phoebe Station, where the Canterbury also had recently been mining ice around Saturn.
And so this meeting that just happened was about that situation.
The meeting that had just happened when you had left Earth was actually about the attack on Ganymede.
Right.
And there was also talk of whether Mars had started it or Earth had started it.
And that was the meeting.
And that was the meeting that was going on when the three of you left Lunar Station. But rewinding back in time, before you got the call, before you saw the woman, You two are sitting at breakfast as your father is reviewing the reports around Phoebe Station and the Canterbury attack.
This is going to cause problems for us, isn't it?
You could say that again.
It's just ridiculous. I don't understand why Earth would do something like this, would try to make things even more tense than they are.
Because it's Earth. They like to cause trouble and blame it on anyone else. And for us, the military has too much power, as I always say.
Our military.
The Earth, Mars, sometimes. I think about how similar we still are.
I don't think we're anything alike, really. We take care of our home. We do what needs to be done and we look after ourselves. I don't think our military is too big. I don't think it needs to be bigger necessarily, but I don't think it's too big. Not with what's going on and Earth blaming us again for something that is not us.
What would you do? I might need to make a statement, and to be completely honest with you, I'm not really sure what to say.
We don't want open hostilities as much as possible. I would try to get into contact with that ambassador, I think. If she's going to spout random crap, at least she should say the right thing or speak the truth. And if she's not speaking the truth, then that's a different matter.
Reach out first and steer the narrative.
Yes.
Very wise.
As that conversation pops back into your head with the news of the protogen, and this question of your family connection.
So, we have a protomolecule that no one knows, if Earth is to be believed, that, and Belters are to be believed, that no one knows what caused it, who did it, for sure. But this company is reaching out to us using at least some of the word. And whatever it is, they want us involved with it.
Somehow they knew exactly where to find us. All of us.
All of us.
We're discussing things that I don't really understand. And I just It's always confused me why there's been so much hostility and animosity to a place that kind of is the birthplace of all, but there's something else that we're not discussing. So if we are
Something happened.
alignments, tensions aside, yes, we were contacted for this, but are we all forgetting that we all saw the vision? We all saw a vision that, as bizarre as it is, was so comforting in the moment, even if not very uncanny.
That can't be a coincidence.
No. Don't believe in coincidences.
I'm
there
not
is
sure
some-
what to believe, to be honest.
I believe that most people are good. I believe that if the people who are reaching out to us, if they know something about protomolecule or is doing something about it, there is a chance that they're doing it for good. Because I
Isn't
know
it
what
a
happened.
big leap to assume it has something to do with us?
It might not have anything to do with us, but our connection. Maybe they just need to find a family with branches in all three places.
Ariadne, don't assume goodness necessarily.
I think that's another flashback moment for Ariadne, for a conversation you were having with your beloved, which is also when the conversation of, in the OPA circles, that something had come into contact with Fred Johnson over on Tycho Station. Something about something called a protomolecule and some issues with Eros. Where are the two of you when you're having this conversation?
Where do we say they sort of lived?
They lived on Cirrus Station.
Right, yeah. I think it would be on Cirrus then. Because I think, I think Althea's family are based in Eros, actually. And so both of them met on Cirrus because that's like the way station that Althea would stop at on her route, on their route. Yeah, so I think it would be Cirrus.
So I think there's recent messages from for Althea about your family over on Eros, as well as your OPA branch, Belter branch, complaining about the security service that had taken over the new contract for there, and how many more new people were showing up.
It's ridiculous. All the resources were pushed already. Everything was already tight, and now there are more people getting in there.
Do they have anywhere else to go?
Why does that need to be all of Eros's problem? Why does that need to be only Eros's problem?
It doesn't, but maybe they didn't have a choice.
Yep. They don't have a choice. But there's only so much air to breathe. There's only so much food to eat. What happens then?
We'll figure it out. right?
Yeah. I hope they figure it out before things get hostile.
I think most people, they want each other to survive, don't they?
Unless it's their survival. Then they don't care.
You can't believe that?
What do you think would happen if we suddenly ran out of oxygen here? What do you think would happen?
I don't know. Maybe we'll find a new place. Maybe we'll try to help the weak first and go from there.
Ari, when you are gasping for air, you don't think about other people. You are gasping for air and you are looking for it for yourself.
I don't want to believe that. I don't want to think about the world like that. It's... If I can just keep believing that most people are good and most people will help me if I'm in need, and I will do the same in return for all of them, then life is worth living just a little bit more.
Thea reaches out, cups your cheek. It is really sweet that you think this way. And it is beautiful and wonderful that you think this way. But I don't want it to get you killed.
No, you won't. Because you will be there for me, right? Just like I will be there for you.
Yeah.
I hope your family's alright on Eros. I don't want anything to happen to them either.
I hope so too. I hope so too.
And we come back to the table with the three of you. That conversation playing in your mind, Ariadne, which went on to discuss the aspect of the proto-molecule between the two of you.
Our wish didn't come true. Althea lost all of her family, and they only survived because they weren't with them. And now that whole station, it didn't die, it didn't burn or explode, it's just trapped. They were trapped in something that wasn't death, wasn't life either. The proto-molecules, it sort of took it. And now I don't know what's doing. Maybe it's dreaming or waking up, and we have no idea what it wants.
Dreaming? Waking up.
So with this conversation, Sway, you can't help but think about Shukra, back on Earth, laying in her state.
Are you saying the proto-molecule can transform things or change and alter life?
I just heard things. I don't know what it can do. I don't know what it is. It is not like anything we've ever seen or heard about. It just...
Which means it can potentially do things we've never seen or heard about.
Right, I suppose.
Incredible things.
So let's go back to that day. The day of the accident. as you're getting the news about Sukra, who's been wheeled into your hospital facility. Now, you're not the emergency room attendant, but you were up on one of the other floors when you got the message that she was being admitted. And you raced down to the ER, into the room where she was being treated. So Pax, you're Sukra. Ariadne, you're the attending physician working on them.
It's gonna be okay, Sukra. You. It's not as bad as it looks.
I'm scared.
That's natural. Everyone feels scared when they're coming out of a traumatic event and when they are in a hospital. I see it all the time. There's always fear there. And you'll sleep through the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's gonna be fine, and I am right here, and I'm gonna be here the entire time.
Don't leave me.
I'm not going to. I I should have multi-classed into surgeon. But they're wonderful. They're so good at their job. You're gonna do everything, right? Everything.
Absolutely. You are in very good hands. I promise you.
I swear, Sukra. I would do any and everything to make sure you're gonna be fine.
I trust you.
Doctor, the OR is ready. You need to get her scrubbed up.
Yes, thank you. It's okay to be afraid. Alright? It's okay to be afraid. But you need to remember. Your name is Sway?
Yeah.
Super. You can remember what Sway looks like, right? When you close your eyes, focus on their face, and you'll get through it. It'll be like a dream, and I'll wait for you to wake up.
Okay.
Okay, so just deep breaths. I have to wait here. I cannot go back with you.
Okay.
But as soon as the first thing you see when you open your eyes is gonna be me.
Okay. Okay.
I love you, Sukra. I'll see you soon.
I love you too.
And you'll see me
As you-
soon.
Your hands break as they wheel Sukra out and towards the OR. 16 hours later, as you are sitting in the waiting room, the doctor steps out with grim news. Well, mixed news.
Okay. I can head back now, yeah?
There were some complications during the surgery. I am very sorry, but we had to put Sukra in an induced coma. The good news is we are still trying. Sucre is still there. So, don't lose hope.
Okay. Is there? Do we need a transfer? What does she need? How long does she have to?
We shouldn't. This is the thing that we are told to not believing as doctors in medical school, but I do believe in miracles, even as a doctor who believes in hard work and 1 + 1 is 2, that sort of thing. But even though all you can do right now is waiting and hoping, I think
So there's nothing that we know or have access to right now
not right now.
to restore a good quality of life to Sucre.
I'm very sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But we have tried everything.
There's gotta be something that's more than everything.
And as you say that, your mind flashes 4 years later to Sucre laying in the bed an hour before you left for the spaceport. As your mind drifts you back to the conversation sitting here at this table with your 3 cousins.
Lots of things that have been harmful to mankind throughout the ages have turned into our greatest cures. I am not sure what we signed up for, but if there's any chance, any sliver of a chance that it could lead to something beneficial for all of us, I want to see it through.
All right.
There's a protogen office here.
Let's find out more.
I didn't see what exactly happened, but millions of people were lost because of it. An entire moon crashed into a planet by itself. I don't know what it wants.
Wait, the
Arrow Station, which had broken its orbit, heading for Earth. An attempt had been made to use the behemoth to crash into it. The Arrow Station sidestepped it and continued on its course for Earth at increasing speed until just hours before it diverted and crashed into Venus.
That's what that was about.
yeah.
earth can we be mixed up in that?
If someone knew about something, if someone was behind all of that, then I don't know. I want to believe that. I want to think that maybe, because you can do terrible things with good intention, but maybe I think I believe you. Maybe you can become a cure of some sort. Because even if there is the littlest chance that those people on Eros somehow they can come back, I'd do anything.
You're talking about resurrection.
Because we don't know what happened to them.
That flies against everything that we know in the literature. That's not possible.
Nothing. Everything that we have heard about all of that defies logic, defies everything we have ever learned in books. So I don't know. How can we explain it?
I need answers.
Same.
Let's go to that office.
Yeah.
So, you finish your meal and your drinks. We're traveling to several levels down, or should I say up, to the office section. Up into the more ritzier, one of the oldest sections of Palace Station. As you round the corner, make me notice rolls.
Just a 4.
22.
2?
22.
Ooh.
Right, no, Sway was 2, you were 22. So, Sway, you're just taking in all of the miraculous things that the Belters have built in this station. And just looking at this space, which is set up to have sort of a faux link with Earth. This is for hours, and the holographic ceiling that's up here, the attempts that they have had to grow trees and so forth. So you're taking in this space. This is a space where, yeah, money is definitely an element. Pax, you can see the office door of Protogen, a small suite and so forth. But the thing that catches your eye immediately is there is a security stripe across it that says no entry by order of Star Helix. Ariadne, you also spy this. And it's just like wondering what's going on as you look around, and that's when you notice across the way there's a security camera pointed directly at this door. And that's where we're going to take our break. So come back soon and we'll be able to find out what's going on as we move into our second act. So be back shortly, folks. So, Ariadne, you can see that there's a camera focused directly on this protogen office that has a sign across it that says, closed by order of Star Helix. You guys are probably about 80 to 100 feet away from this as you see it. But you're in a sort of an alcove, so at this point, from the angle you're at, you don't think the camera is aware of where you guys are.
Kind of hold out an arm in front of the other two and say, "Look, over there."
Why would this be like this?
What is Star Helix?
It's the
Have we heard-
security firm that's responsible for security on the station. Think of it as hired police.
Have they... Is this new?
As far as you can tell.
Is it a... And is it a... Sorry, is it a new... Is this a new firm? Has the firm changed hand? Like, is it... I wouldn't know. That's why I'm asking. Is it...
Right. Ariadne, you know for a fact Star Helix was the one who had the contract for Palace, as well as Cirrus Station.
So, the Protogen, have we ever heard of them before we were contacted by them? Like, is this an entity that we have heard of before?
Make a smarts roll. And you all can make that one.
Okay. Ooh. 14.
4.
8.
So with a 14, I think Pax, when they contacted you, you did do some inquiry into deeper about them. The company's been in existence for about 14, 15 years. Its headquarters is based off of Earth. It's a subsidiary of the Mao Corporation.
Does that ping anything for PAX? It pings things for me.
Well, do you share that information with them?
I will share that information indeed, yes.
So, Ariadne, you had also been aware that the path in your general travels, you've seen just in passing the Protogen offices as you've traveled. But when Pax shares the information and says Mao, it sparks something for you. And especially the messages that have been spread amongst the Belters about the events with Eros and a certain Star Helix cop and a woman by the name of Julie Mao. And a love affair and a membership in the OPA.
That can't be a coincidence either.
What can't be?
Julie Mao. She was... Tell me you've heard of her. It's been all over the news here.
What?
So, Sway, Pax, make another smarts roll.
Has it been all over the news here? Like, has it been all over...
Probably in the belt, not so much on Mars and Earth.
I disagree. I think it was on Mars.
Well, it's a
With
bit
a
of which
13.
piece of information.
Right.
Okay, so 13, you do recognize the name Julie Mao as a racer.
As a what, sorry?
So she was a ship racer. So think about like
Oh.
NASCAR, but in this case,
Yeah.
using rockets.
Question. If I roll a
Yes.
6 on my stat die, but a 1 on my wild die, is it just -1 to that 6, but it still explodes? Or...
I think
So was your smart die a dice D6?
Yes.
So roll that d6 again.
So that would be a total of 10, but -1, so 9.
Correct. And you also have heard about Julie Mao as being one of the premier race pilots in the circuit. But you also know, just from shall we say, scandal rags and so forth, Julie Mao is sort of the black sheep of the family, being a racer, while her sister Clarissa is known as a social butterfly, as well as their father, Jules Mao, runs his company and a variety of other ones.
Would I know anything about her dad?
Uh, well, you still have a computer link right now. You could go ahead and do a search.
I would like to do a search.
So let's go ahead and have that one be smarts, and I'll go ahead and say research for this one.
Mm-hmm. Only a
But the
3.
romance side of it has been mostly much more in the belt, as opposed to being Earth and Mars.
Just a 3.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
you're actually hitting
Leatherback. That was Julie Mao.
Huh?
Razorback. Yes.
Razorback.
Yes. You're actually coming up with an interesting block. There seems to be very little beyond just the, Mao Corporation and so forth. It looks like there's a bunch of his information that has gone blank.
You look concerned.
Mao. There's a lot of information that I cannot find, and when you can't find information, it's usually being suppressed or hidden, or it's not there. And since I know who Julie Mao is, her dad and his company should have more information than it has.
I think there are things that Julie Mao has done in the belt that maybe her dad wouldn't want people to know.
But I can't find information on her dad, not her.
You look like you're good at finding information, so I'd say maybe someone doesn't want you to find whatever you're looking for.
That's the problem.
Not to be crass, but I'm sure we could probably, like, pay for that surveillance footage. The camera's pointing right at the door.
You think we can find out who has been here before?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Bribery still exists on Earth. I don't know about other places, but I assure you, it is very much a currency on Earth to transact in bribes.
I see.
Can we still contact them at the very least?
You want to try to make a call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dial them up.
Yeah, I would just dial back the call that reached me before from Prodigen and see
Alright.
if anybody pick up.
I mean, we obviously haven't turned up, so that would... Someone should pick
Right. Because you're on Palace Station, you're calling back to actually Cirrus Station. It's going to take a little while for the signal for it to travel, because it's not an instantaneous message. So you can record a message and send it off. In fact, you can do that all for each of your contacts as well.
Yeah. I'm concerned about what all of this means now that we're here, and I don't think we should just walk into something we don't understand.
That's logical.
Or, what do you know about Jules Mao? All I know about him is he's some leader behind some big corporation that nobody knows much about.
Yeah, I mean, he has several businesses on Earth, but nothing I've personally looked into.
But he's
But
also
like
a
you hear
father
the
who
name Mal around.
he is a father who lost a child. Do you think maybe he was behind this, looking to save his daughter?
Maybe. But why would he go this way about it? He has the money to be able to search more directly, right?
Sometimes money isn't even enough to fix some things that can't be fixed.
Hmm.
Science is always more powerful than money.
I can agree
Because
with
right
that.
now, I reckon nobody is gonna be willing to go to Venus, for instance, to study whatever the remains of Aero Station is.
That's a good point.
Actually, wouldn't people want to?
Pax,
Yes.
have just received a recorded message from one of your lab mates.
I will listen to it. What does it say? Or read it, whichever.
It's a text message. It's from one of your lab mates, Christoph. He it sends a message saying, uh, I, because you're not here, actually, I just got picked to do a biolot to join the crew of a ship that's heading for Venus to study the events about Eros. From what I hear, they were actually going to send you, but since you're off world at the moment, I got to send you say thank you for not being here, so I got the chance to go on this mission.
They would have sent me to Venus. I will reply and say, do they know anything about what happened there? What precautions are they taking?
So it'll take a little while for that to get sent out and come back.
Mm-hmm. And we're just standing outside of this space.
What would you like to do next?
Do you think we could just stand in front of the security camera?
Wave at them.
Fastest way to get in touch, you know?
It says,
Is it not mounted to a business that we could just...
yeah.
It's across the promenade, but the camera's definitely aimed at the door.
Oh, my assumption, my assumption is Star Helix installed the thing so that they can monitor. So I was suggestion maybe Star Helix might know why they closed this place down.
I thought it was an independent camera
Oh.
that just so happened to have it in view. But if we could just go straight to Star Helix and won't that look suspicious on our part? I guess not. We have a contract. We were literally hired.
We have a contract and it says do not enter. Someone has to have information about that.
Yeah.
But
And we're not entering. We're just
maybe we need to be careful about that though.
If they're a security company, then what do we have to fear? We're not doing anything wrong.
Will we have reason to fear the security company?
Not as far as you know. But then again, living in the belt, you know that security companies have their contract for maintaining securities, but that doesn't mean that people don't work on the side.
Let's see what we can find out. I don't want to be on camera there though. Something about this seems wrong.
I'm sure they have a local office,
Yeah,
right?
they'll have an office here somewhere. We just need to find it.
Yeah, you're going to the Star Helix office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about a level down.
Head down that level.
Yeah. And you board the tram to head down to that next level. As you are on the way towards the Star Helix office, Sway, your communicator goes off.
I'm gonna check it.
Hello, may I speak to Miss Weaver, please?
Hey, this is Sway.
Hello, Miss Weaver. My name is Jefferson Addison. I'm with the UN.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm with the UN and security for offices.
Hi.
You recently tried to place a call to the Protogen office. Can I ask what that was about?
Yeah, You said you're with the UN?
Yes, the UN security offices.
I accepted a contract? Uh,
Where are you now? We'd like to find out more about that contract you signed with Protogen.
uh, is... What are they called? Do you have an embassy here on... Not Titan, where are we?
Palace?
Palace?
You're on Palace. Yes, we do have a embassy on Palace. If you'll direct yourself there, I will send a message for them to speak with you in more detail.
Oh, okay, give me an... Give me about 2 hours. I have to check on the ship I was on and the crew. So give me like 2 hours to be there, at least, please.
Please be prompt. Thank you.
Thank you.
The UN.
I shouldn't be getting calls from the UN. Why would
The UN?
The UN asking about our Protogen contract?
How do they know about?
How do they know about it?
I assume like I left off of Earth. Of course, I'd have to go through procedures and protocols for doing something like that. Like I'm
And you also just left a message.
And you left a message.
and I left a message. With Protogen though, why is the UN and Protogen having conversations?
Well, if the Mal Corporation is behind Protogen, maybe the UN are now just screening all of the numbers.
I have to go into the office in about 2
That's no
hours to talk about it.
Let's see what we can find out from Helix.
Yeah, and we'll go with you if you don't mind. If
That'd be great.
if you
I
want.
haven't done
I'm not
anything
leaving you
wrong.
alone.
We're not doing anything wrong.
We're not doing
I don't-
anything wrong. We haven't done anything wrong.
We haven't.
No.
Okay. Well, let's find out as much as we can in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's find out what Star Helix is after first, maybe.
Yeah.
Is Star Helix an Earth company or?
It's an Earth
that?
company.
Oh.
And as you approach the office, you can see the front desk clerk that is sitting there. Clearly a trans individual with a lovely bob cut and red hair. They're wearing this smart little business suit that just a slight off green that matches their hair color. As they look up at you in the door, it's like, "Can I help you?"
Hi. Yeah. Yes. Well, we were trying to make a contact with the an office, but it seems to be closed by the order of the Star Helix Corporation, and we're just hoping to find out
So
some
as you
more
say,
information.
as you at first they're sort of curious, and then they cock their head wondering, and then when you say by order Star Helix, their head shifts back, and is like, one moment here. Let me just contact the officer that's responsible for that. Excuse me, and taps something on their comm and touches their ear. I'm sorry to bother you, but there's some people here asking about the office. Do you want me to send them back, or do you want to come gather them? Right. Okay. Please, if you'll follow me to one of our offices, they'll be able to explain, talk to you more thoroughly about that.
Thanks.
They tap a couple of buttons on their desk, and they get up, and you see they lead you into the back area. Off in the back area, through some of the glass, you can see the bullpen where they're sitting, and they lead you down a couple of corridors to a section that's off, and you see the sign that says interrogation as they open a door and gesture for you to enter.
Why would we need to be in an interrogation room?
Oh, it's one of the most. It's got enough seating, and it is one of the private spaces. I don't. The officer in charge did not want to have you speak in the bullpen.
I don't think I feel very comfortable in an interrogation room. If that's all right.
Can we just sit in the bullpen or something like that?
So they sort of look at you with, it's like, oh, and at which point you hear another female voice, rather gruffer, but still charming. Actually, it would be much better for you all to have our conversation in the interrogation room. This is a request to the UN as well.
I have a edge called connections.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping, I don't know how it really works, but would it be possible to have some sort of connection who works for the Star Helix? Who would look at us a little bit more kindly?
Yeah, the problem is that connection would be back over on Cirrus.
I see. Gotcha.
As this very smartly dressed woman steps forward to you, please, it's better we have a conversation there where we can have privacy. As I said, the UN has made certain requests, and they want to maintain a degree of quiet. And they gesture towards the room.
Do we have rights? You know more about
If I'm
this.
speaking with the UN in 2 hours, why am I...
Why are we here doing the same?
Oh,
Yeah, can
they're
I
already
just-
sending someone down.
Oh, good to know.
Please, step in the room. I insist.
I don't want to go in there. Kind of whisper to the other two.
We don't have a choice right now.
Then one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of us in at
That's
a time.
fair. Then, if you don't mind, then the other two of you your companions can wait over in the bullpen area.
Okay. We'll be right here.
Okay.
Who first?
Caitlin, would you escort them? They nod. Please, this way.
Can we not wait here? I can't imagine it will take
Oh,
long.
you'll be able to see because there's clear glass, but we're going to have you wait out here. Besides, there's no seating out here where you want to be much more comfortable. And I can get you something to drink while we wait.
All right.
At which point the officer steps up and gestures for you to enter the interrogation room sway.
We're right here, waiting for you.
I see through the glass. So.
Yeah.
I head in.
Well, why don't we go ahead and begin with some preliminary questions and identity while we wait for the UN representative to get down here. And at which point they plug their comm unit in and screen lights up showing recording information and so forth. Can I get your name, please?
Sway Weaver.
Good. And your occupation?
I am a medical doctor back on Earth.
Hmm. So what brings you to Palace Station? I can think of better places for a vacation.
Well, the facility I worked at uh, got closed down, and while I am waiting for somewhere else to work on Earth, I figured now would be as good a time as any to try a new opportunity when it presented itself, when I got approached about a mission that had something to do with my family, to be honest.
Really? So that's why you're inquiring about Star Protogen Corporation? You were
Was
approached by them for the
it was a
contract?
representative of Protogen who sent me the job offer and covered everything I needed to board a ship.
Gotcha. And then turns and looks out. Are those your shipmates?
Yeah,
Very good. And what are their names?
Pax and Ariadne.
Pax and Ariadne. Very nice. And their last names?
Weaver.
You're related?
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Good to hear. So, can you tell me a bit about the contract you've been, Protogen offered you?
Well, actually, I came here to learn a bit more about that. Uh,
Ah,
we were on our way to Protogen's office here to ask more about what they particularly needed us to do. And I was hoping you could tell me why there's tape across it.
us. Were they also approached with contracts from Protogen?
Yes. And so
And
what
as they
happened to the
turn
Protogen
and look out the
office?
window, and they turn back to you. What was that?
What happened to the Protogen office? What happened over, like, why is it closed down? Because we could just talk to them about this. So what's up with them? Because I obviously have questions of my own.
Well, as far as I can tell you, it was the requested close being closed down by the UN. So if you're going to ask that question, we're going to have to wait for them to arrive.
So there's no
And
one.
one,
Where are the people who work there? Like, you close the building, but people work inside of that building. Where are they? Because they're more important than the office.
we've been questioning them, but they've been inconclusive about what they've been able to provide. I'm, and I'll be also quite honest with you, I'm not fully quite understanding it too. I just know it's been requested by the UN. So why don't we just go ahead and wait for the UN to arrive? And I'll ensure that your family members are quite comfortable as well. So just stay here. And they pick up their recording unit and step out. And you can see them tapping on their console. Pax, Adriadne, make me a notice roll.
I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Uh, 11.
Okay. So with the 6 packs, you notice that the officer has stepped out of the interrogation room and has looked over in your guys' general direction, is tapping something on their their comm unit. Ariadne, you notice this as well, and then you notice several of the officers around you are all turning to look in your general direction.
I stand up immediately and head back to the door. I swear.
And as you do, one of the officers immediately gets up and says, "Can I help you, ma'am? Did you need to use the bathroom or something?"
No, I'm wanting to check on my cousin
Ah, well, where's your cousin?
in the room.
Ah, there. Well, we can go together and have you check on him, but right now I can't let you leave the facilities.
Why?
You and your
Are we
cousin
under
are
arrest?
people of interest. That much I'm aware of. So, either escort you to the room
well-
or have you sit back down.
My cousin has has a medical condition that requires her to get a supplement every few hours. It's running out of time, so I must administer it to them, if you wouldn't mind. Could I
Certainly.
just get her out here for a moment?
Or would you like to be able to administer it to her while she's in interrogation? We can help you with that as well. If that would make me cleaner.
Well, I could just be at the entrance and she could come step towards me if that's all right with you. That's all the same.
Yeah, gesture towards the interrogation door.
Yeah, I will kind of grab Pax by the hand and just squeeze a little bit and looks at Pax and try to hide it, but is going to give them a wink and like very slightly head tilt to the door.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go towards the interrogation room to try to get Sway to come towards me.
I see all of this from the windows, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
You see that they've been stopped by another Star Helix individual.
When the first one left out, did they like lock the door or anything? Did I see them punch in a code? or
No, the
anything?
door is unlocked.
I'm just gonna walk to it and open it and head out.
You do.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, Sway, it's time for your supplement.
Yeah, I already feel like I'm gonna hurl, so definitely time.
Great.
We can get you. The bathroom is this way. If that would make it easier. But again, we can't let you.
I would
leave
like
the
to
facility.
throw up right now. I am so nervous.
Okay, give me a vigor roll on that one.
Throw up.
Yeah, give me a vigor roll to see if you can do that on you.
Please throw it on their clothes.
4.
Yes, it
Oh,
takes
it
a moment as
explodes.
you.
It explodes.
It's a
Oh yes,
D4.
keep it
Oh,
going.
it explodes. It all explodes.
7 total.
Yeah, you're managing. Maybe it's the nerve. Maybe it's that drink from earlier. But
I knew.
you manage to reenact that very famous. And Ariadne, you've heard of this movie and watching some of the various things that old movies that came from Earth called The Exorcist. As you proceed to projectile vomit
Yeah.
onto this officer's clothing.
You know what's even funnier? Because I feel like Ariadne, instead of watching Exorcist, if you would allow it, what she think Sway is recreating is Pitch Perfect.
Oh. Okay, I've never seen that one, so we'll go with Pitch Perfect.
Either way, but she will actually literally just say that was Pitch Perfect very quietly into Sway's ear and tug on Sway's arm as well and just start booking it out.
Booking it.
So you're going to basically run around for the door out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to need agility rolls from all of you to see if you can basically sidestep the Star Helix officers that are there, who are right now stunned by the vomit.
You ever throw up and run?
Funny enough, yes. One time in a haunted house.
That is a 6 because I rolled a 1 on my wild die.
All right.
5.
So, what happens when I roll the 6, explodes, roll another 6, explodes again, and then I roll a 1?
Okay, so that's a total of 13.
Great. So that one doesn't matter.
Oh, you got a 1 on the other one?
No. So the third
It
explosion.
was 6, 6, and 1.
Yes, on the same die.
So that's 13 total.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Okay, so in that particular case, because, let's see here, Sway got a
6.
5.
Oh, sorry.
5, and then you got a 6 for Pax?
Yep.
Okay, so because of the aspect of Sway doing the projectile vomiting out, there is just a moment of hesitation as you grab Sway and you maneuver them around, giving just that extra moment as they're stunned as you make the dash for the door. Pax, you were just a beat behind them, at which point Katie is sort of standing up trying to see what's going on. As Katie's coming towards you, you just blow past her and knock them down as they stumble as you guys go running out the door of Star Helix. And at which, as someone else is screaming, "Hey, stop them!" And it's like, okay, get the girl. We need to get him. As alarms are now starting to go off. As you are running down the hall, the corridor, away from the Star Helix facility.
We need to get to the ship. We need to leave.
The ship.
I don't know why.
Right now. The
Yep,
ship.
time to go, time to go,
I-
time to go.
Time to go.
Just a gut feeling. We
Yeah.
need to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to take the tram or the stairs?
Stairs.
Stairs.
Okay. As you make it to the stairs and you book into them and begin to make your way down, you know how they will often put signs up near stairways and so forth to advertise various things?
Mm-hmm.
Standing by the stairway is a sign for Titan. And standing under it, gesturing to it, is the woman.
Taking the stairs, going to Titan.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay? You race your way down the stairs, making it level by level, at which point you hear certain alarms going off as you hear the announcement, Star Helix is instituting certain checkpoints. Please cooperate with those Star Helix at those checkpoints.
Let's get back to our ship.
It takes a while before you get down near the docking ring. As you exit out of one of the stairways into the area, you can see the main entrance to the docking port. There are several Star Helix officers there.
I'm gonna take off my jacket and give it to Pax because I feel like Pax is the most well dressed out of all of us. Just a feeling.
I
And
put it
then
on.
also take off that giant scarf and give it to Sway to like. All right, try to look as different as the ourselves as possible, maybe.
Okay.
Pax has never had to do anything like this. So there is they put the jacket on.
All
It's
right.
very hard to not
So-
be so visible.
Yeah.
Well, you've had a few minutes while coming down the stairs to sort of clean yourself up.
Yes.
Oh, I know. And then I'll take the scarf and I'll do a head wrap.
Nice.
All right.
That was like a superpower.
right.
That was so great.
I don't feel super right now. I also am worried because we did nothing wrong, but we're running.
Yeah,
We've
it just
always
didn't feel right.
No, it
we've
felt
always needed to
terrible.
keep running without having done anything wrong. That's just how it is.
Welcome to life in the belt. Okay, so now you need to sneak past the guards. So let's have you guys make some rolls. Let's see here. Looking at your sheets. What would be the best one here? Okay. You all have persuasion. So I want persuasion rolls from all of you, and I want to know how each of you are you going to try and do it as a group, or are you going to try and do it separately, get past the guards to get entry into the port area?
I would also like to toss in my reliable edge. So if anyone
Sure.
else is heading toward that direction who's like hobbling or needs like I would step in and be like, I've got you to also cloak myself like I'm with this person.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, People know
So,
they can depend on you uh, when they need assistance. So maybe that'll help me out.
Um, what am I gonna do? Um,
as I said, you can do this as a group, or you can do it separately,
yeah,
whichever combination you want to do. But give me your persuasion rolls.
I'm gonna roll and see what comes to me with that.
My
Yeah.
highest die
Mm-hmm.
in persuasion is a D8, so if someone wants to go higher,
No, that's what I've got as well.
Well,
I
remember,
have
I
you
a,
got
believe in you,
your
Pax.
wild die, and it can explode.
I
yeah.
have a D10.
I also have
Um,
the edge work the room, so maybe there's
Mm-hmm. That
something
would be
in
one.
that.
So
yeah.
I'll allow that as a modifier add-on.
Okay.
So I have a D10 and I have charismatic and streetwise. I don't know which one of
Mm-hmm.
them might
Oh,
apply.
Let's go with streetwise in this one because of your experience with the docks and being much more again akin, familiar with this setting. This is not the first time you've seen a security lockdown.
Yeah. I think she's just gonna sort of not necessarily like sneak. She is moving almost like the shadows of other people. And like measure the timing of all of the comings and goings and try to just blend in and walk like she belongs.
Okay.
okay. I can
With
roll
mm-hmm.
an additional die when supporting with persuasion or performance, and that
All right.
supports any other ally who can see or hear me, and applies to the
So
next
as
action.
you as you have watched Ariadne move and shift, she's moving along, and Ariadne, you see a set of loading uh, workers moving a large shipment in. You've done work with the work you've done in logistics before. You know how to just slip in with him to be able to move in and get past the security guards. But at this point, because you're seeing her, Ariadne, move off, that leaves the two of you. So, what are the two of you going to do to work together to get past these security guards?
I'm at a 12.
You're at a
Um,
12. I
yes,
am
that's my
only
total.
I'm only at a 5, but I can add 3 to your roll.
I can give a free reroll on any support roll. Or I get a free reroll on any support roll.
Okay, but the 12, keep the 12. 12 good.
Right, but you have a 5.
I have a 5. I am going to support you in this.
Okay, so I'll do
And
group for us.
yeah. So I'm going to try to act as though I am either ill or injured in some way to keep my face down. I rolled a 5 on mine, by the way. Keep my face down so that you have someone else to be looking after.
Okay.
Okay, 18 then for me.
Oh yeah, you're starting to talk with the others there and talking about using your experience with the logistics to make it look like you are here. You're part of the crew that's moving these freight into the docking area. Now, for the two of you, since you're working together, you're taking more of a as if you're sick, and then it's why you're helping with that. So
And I'm looking for like a congested group specifically of like elderly or slow moving to like branch in with that mask, like people who need some extra support.
Yeah.
okay, you can see one or two that are making their way. Looks like they're heading for a ship.
For our
They're
ship?
moving slowly. Oh no, they're moving for a ship. Looks probably a ship in the docking ring. They're moving through, but at one point, as you do, and as you get closer to it, one of them looks up and is like, "Who are you?"
Another passerby, but I know what it's like, obviously, and I gesture to Pax, and I'm like, we can take our time. I've got your back.
Make me another persuasion roll.
8, yay! 7. 15.
Nice.
Okay, I'll sure come along, and you move on with this elderly group, more elderly group as they're working their way. So, what's ailing yours?
It's the atmosphere. It's a big change.
Yeah, we're taking Paul here back to Cirrus. Didn't particularly do well with the gravity here.
I actually have my own issues with the gravity here, and I'll like give only one of my anti-nausea medication pills away and be like, this generally
Yeah.
helps.
All right. So with that, each of you managed to make although in separate groups, managed to make their way. I mean, the guards do look over, but at this point, they're looking for a group of 3. As you slip into the docking port area, and
Y'all
from
have
there,
safe
make your way
travels.
over. Yep, and make your way from there over to your ship, which is where you then see on the docking display spinning sign that says locked down by order of Star Helix.
Our ship.
Mm-hmm. So the docking, and you know that means that the docking clamps have been locked onto the ship. So
I-
to get them out, you either need to release the docking clamps, find a way to get them released, or you could gun it out there, but you're going to damage the ship in the process.
Can I somehow MacGyver my way to unlock this?
Your best bet will be trying to do that. So give me a smarts or repair roll before we get to the MacGyver roll.
Smarts is a 10. Oh wait, no,
Okay.
I got to reroll then. 13.
Okay, again, because of your experience working in the logistics and docks and also flying ships, you kind of have an idea of where you have to go within the system to jerry-rig it to release the docking clamps. Now, that means you cannot do it from board the ship. You have to access one of the maintenance control switches across the way. And you can see where that switch is.
Okay.
But you also know that as soon as you do, unless, depending on how, because you know others have done this, an alarm will sound
Yeah.
and begin locking down the entire area.
Okay. So, I think the two of you should go onto the ship, get the captain, get everyone else, get ready to just book it. I'm going to switch on the
Captain-
switch.
Captain and Abraham are still in
Oh.
the medical bay.
We're in the medical bay, so it's just
Right.
the 3 of us. They're probably
Get the
safest,
ship started. We gotta go.
yeah. Okay.
As soon as As soon as the alarm starts to sound, we gotta get out of here.
All right.
How are you gonna get back on? What's the plan here?
Run like hell.
Ridiculous.
Star Helix is crawling over this place.
I know.
Okay.
But even if the two of you can get out here, there will be the majority of us.
We're not doing that.
No. Okay,
not doing
so is there the area where you can release the clampy things? Is there, if you're suited up, is there a way we can maneuver over by it so you don't have to come to us? Is there a way we can come to you?
There is an option of doing another spacewalk and cutting the clamps, or at least you could affect the manual systems if you were out in the vacuum.
But that means suiting up, getting out. Like, that's so many more steps
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a way to do it from outside the ship
It's
and deal with the clamps itself, or you can do it with the master control system, or at least the relay master control system inside the station.
How catastrophic is the damage from pulling off while clamped down?
You don't. You ask this, Ariadne? Give me a smarts roll.
Okay. Keep rolling good today, actually. 16.
You know it's possible. There would be definite structural damage. You could theoretically lock down those portions of the ship. With it being a more smaller crew, you could run a more minimal system. But there's definitely going to be damage to the hull and ship. And the question is, do you want to do that to Captain Rosa?
We're already in unfair trouble. Is there a ship nearby not locked down?
Oh, there's a few other ones, but Ariadne, you know the Mami Wata.
If we can.
Is that a level of damage Ariadne feel confident enough to fix, potentially?
Well, you're definitely going to be damaging the hull, so it's definitely going to need some essentially dry docking to repair that porch. Now, you could also do those repairs while traveling, but again, there's also the raw materials, and it's going to be a very nasty weld.
And
Right,
if we're
Mami Wata's
pursued,
not already at 100%.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Are you a
if we are
fast runner?
caught, if we are caught at this ship, well, we're not really doing Captain Rosa any favor anyway. We can try to repair her. We can try to fix it. On Titan, perhaps. Once we get there.
Why don't we try releasing the clamps from here, from in the station? That doesn't work. We do what we got to do.
Can I pay someone to go release it for us?
Okay, give me a notice roll.
Notice 6. Okay. That's a 6. That's another 6. Dang. Okay.
You have incredible luck today.
I know. So that's a 10. The higher one is 10.
Okay, let's see here. As you're sort of looking around, that's when you notice a set of tattoos that is on one of the workers there. It is the tattoo of one of the OPA factions, the Golden Bow. You know, Tina's had a decent relationship with him, even though she's not been a full member. but you know the certain contact phrases to use. You might be able to bribe them into helping you, or at least ask for their help.
Um. So, would it be possible that Tia has like put like just one OPA tattoos on Ariadne on like at the beginning portions of their relationship?
Yes, she did.
Okay. So she will kind of quietly go over there and look at this OPA person, and she's gonna say,
What do you want?
well, Beltalauda rise, Einer's fall, right?
Beltalada.
And then we're gonna show him the tattoo.
He nods. And what do you need?
Well, in a bit of a trouble with the security. Could use some help
Mm-hmm.
releasing that clamp over there, you see, across.
Oh, that's your ship. Okay. How noisy do you want this? Quiet or loud and messy?
We could use a distraction.
Okay, it's going to cost you.
I understand.
What are you good for? What are you good
What
for?
am I good for?
Well, you can either trade in favors, you can offer money, goods as far as you know.
Oh, how about an IOU and everything I have in here? She doesn't have much, but I assume she has some coins on her.
Mm-hmm. You could clean out essentially the bank account that you and Thea have.
Yeah.
Are you
We
willing to do
build,
that?
we build, we fight, we live, and we rebuild. It's gonna be worth it. You know that.
Up
I
to
know
eight.
that.
And he holds out his comm unit
Yeah.
for the transfer. All right. Get going. Get your ship ready. You'll hear the alarms. That give us 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Fly safe.
Good hunting.
And you see him step away and over to go talk to a couple of other people.
What did you just
Right.
give him?
My entire saving. It's not much, if that makes you feel better.
It doesn't?
Well, either way, 30 minutes, we lay low, and then there's gonna be something loud and messy, and then we get out of here.
Well, let's prepare then.
Yeah.
Is
And then
anyone
we'll
watching
talk
the
about
ship?
what I can transfer to you, because this is not going to sit well with me. So,
No.
but we can
We'll
get out
get
of
to
here
that.
first.
Uh-oh.
Well, we were worried about that when we get to
So
Titan
give
in
me
one piece.
notice rolls.
Oh dear. Oops.
Five.
Okay.
5.
And for Ariadne?
4.
Okay. I mean, you see the Star Helix people, they're looking more at the entry way. There probably is a security system that is monitoring the Mamiwata. Right now, with the clamps down, you don't know if they put any type of security locks on the door to the ship itself, but you're going to have to go down and check that. But you, again, because of your experience working in the docks, you know the standard locking procedures would also, they put the security clamps on the ship itself so it physically can't move. They've probably locked the access door as well. So to get on there, you're going to need to deactivate the access door as well. There will probably be an alarm on that, but doesn't look like they're immediately thinking you're going to get on the ship.
Maybe we should wait to deactivate this.
Use the alarm to cover the other alarm.
Yeah.
How quickly can you get the
Alright.
ship out of here?
Ariadne knows. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, you're going to have a very limited time to do so. It's going to take a bit for the reactor to warm up, but you can get the maneuvering thrusters to be able to get you to push out, and in that time, get the reactor to start up its procedures before the Epstein drive is going to be online. During which time, yes, you will be vulnerable to other ships coming in to try and grab you, and the other security systems.
Right.
Okay.
We will prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's what my grandma always says.
I was gonna say, you sound like my father.
Old Earther saying, I think.
One that never goes out of style, actually.
So as you're having this conversation, and so the 30 minutes ticks by, as a fire alarm breaks out across the docking area, as the alarm, fire suppression alarms, and the immediate area to evacuate, because one of the ways of dealing with a fire in this area is for everyone to get clear, and they open one of the access points to vent the fire. You, knowing what it was to be looking for, you do see somebody moving over towards the control relay.
I think this is our cue.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
However we can help.
Yes.
You make your way down into the docking corridor as the alarm is blaring and screams are saying to get clear, get clear, get clear. As you get to the doors to the Mommy Water, and you need to bypass the security on it. So this is your MacGyver time and repair to get into the ship.
Okay. What does MacGyver add for me?
I believe your MacGyver, your MacGyver roll, it's going to add 1.
1, just plus 1?
Yeah.
Okay. 11.
Okay. So you easily, again, similar system to what you've worked on with Cirrus. You're easily able to bypass this sort, and with this last spark, you hear the doors open and release as the entranceway into the Mommy Water is available. And as you're doing so, you're hearing the pressure doors on the corridor beginning to close as well. So this corridor is sealed off from the rest of the docking bay at the moment, because they've had to go with a venting procedure.
Right.
Okay. Let's get the engine started.
Let's go, let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go.
So the repairs had begun, but the flight control is still damaged. So you're back to the auxiliary control that you had set up on the engineering console as you ignite the maneuvering thrusters to begin backing the ship away. And as you're doing so, there's a squeak as the comm system pings that there's an incoming message for you.
Let's
Yeah.
get out first.
Yeah.
Or unless it can be handled while we're doing those procedures.
Well, right now, Ariadne is dealing with flying the ship, so either one of you could go to the comm unit.
I will do that.
If it's Star Helix, just ignore them.
Yeah.
Or the
When
UN.
you pull up,
Or the UN.
when you pull up on the screen, you see it's the flight controller indicating, "What are you doing? Hold fast. Your ship is not supposed to be moving.
No
Stop by
response.
order of Star Helix."
No response. Not responding.
No response.
Let's get out of
As
here.
you back out and go ahead and make me a piloting roll as you pick up the thrust, but
Block
not the
'em,
full
Pax.
reactors.
Okay. This is going very well. 13.
All right. You begin to maneuver, and because of everything that's going on, you manage to get into the clear zone to be able, and in the process, start up the reactor enough for the Epstein drive to flare into life as you, the three of you, and the mommy water rocket your way out into the expanse dark away from Pallas Athena Station.
Charting a course to Titan. Following the destiny, I imagine.
It's all that we can do right now.
Look, Sway. How many people can say that they turned down the call from the UN, eh?
Oh God.
I'm gonna do some screaming later.
Can I roll for throw up?
Yes, please do.
Because that sentence is a problem.
Everything is a problem.
Oh look,
Where's
I
your
rolled.
shirt?
This is all a problem.
You know what though? I'm fine. It's an 8.
But then the thought occurs to you, they might call Mars and Dad. And you know, that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh no.
As we pick up in episode 3 to find out what happens as they make their way out of the belt towards Saturn and Titan. So I want to thank you guys all for being here. And let's go ahead and have our outros for right now, where everybody can find you and come back for our adventure. So starting with Ariadne.
Hi, I have been Ariadne, she, her pronouns, and my name is Ran. You can find me on Blue Sky as Burdick Inspiration and everywhere else on social media as Rhino Riddler. I am a theater director based in New York City, and it's been a pleasure sharing this table with all of you fabulous people. Thank you for watching.
Sway.
I am Shawnee of Showcat Cosplay. I have been Sway Weaver, she, her, for this very oops all problems section. You can find me on the internet, usually getting into problems at TTRPGs, cosplaying. If you want to, from me to you, if you want to check out something cool, I am the poster girl for promoting a TTRPG called Our Brilliant Ruin. Go to Drive-Thru RPG and you can download the PDF for that, absolutely free. It's full of problems just like this has been.
And Pax.
I have been Pax Weaver, they, them. I am Chantel B, also they, them. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Chantel B, definitely on Blue Sky at Chantel B. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm around. I stream games just like this one. I world design, I write. I'm an actor, writer, psychologist, jack of all trades, master of none, and I think that's the best way to be. It's fun. So come see me whenever.
And as I said, I've been your flight controller. I'm Perry Clark, licensed marriage and family therapist in the San Francisco area. You can also catch me, if not over on the Symphony Entertainment as occasional cast member there. You can also catch my podcast, Untying Knots, Minds and Souls Untethered, where I talk about the intersections of mental health and a variety of various issues, including gaming. Actually, hopefully by the time this comes out, my conversation with Dr. Michelle Samudio as we break down and discuss the psychological things we noticed in Captain America: Brave New World. So stay tuned for that as well. That's coming out on the 17th of this month, so check it out. But otherwise, we'll have episode 3 out as soon as we can. So take care and have a good night, folks. Bye.